Hey Samuel, how are you doing?
Hey Chris, all good and you?
Good to see you. We're live, by the way, so just so you know.
Cool, cool.
Yeah, nice to see you. How are you doing?
All right, yes. I just came back from walking the dogs, so they should be kind of quiet, but you never know with these guys.
Yeah, I hear that. My dog's the same, so he might be kicking off any minute as well. I guess that's life with a dog, eh?
Yeah.
So you've had some exciting news since we last spoke, hey?
Yeah, yeah, I got accepted in an incubation program here in Latin America for Spanish-speaking people.
That's awesome.
Uh,
Congratulations.
Yeah, thank you, thank you. I'm very excited. Hopefully, good things will come out of it.
Yeah, and that's an incubator for animal charities, right? New animal charities. You're setting up a non-profit.
Yeah, you're setting up your own profit, your own non-profit, but not exclusively about animals. It includes other subjects like yeah, global poverty and that kind of stuff. But I think out of the 20 people that are in the program, five are going to focus on animals. So yeah, super excited about it.
Awesome. About 20%. That's pretty good then.
Yeah, pretty
Nice.
good.
Is that something they've done deliberately? Were they kind of going for that, or they had a particularly high number of good animal applications?
That's a good question. I'm not entirely sure. I think they might have selected uh, like 5 and 5 groups,
Nice.
groups
Awesome.
of
Well,
5 people. Yeah,
congratulations on being one of them. That's really exciting.
yeah. Thank you. Yeah, I hope. Uh, yeah, this could lead to some good things.
And what is, yeah, tell me about the organization that you're founding then.
We're still in the researching phase. We had some ideas, but the whole focus of the program is to first identify the problems. So we're going to spend a couple of months just identifying problems, and then trying to figure out what are the best ways to try to solve them. So I think it's a good approach. So we don't come too set on our ideas and our ways, and rather explore and yeah, figure out what might be the most useful use of our time and resources.
Yeah, that makes
So
sense.
yeah,
That makes
yeah,
sense. And
totally. Hmm.
you've been someone who's been thinking about this for a little while already. Hey, we spoke about 4 years ago for the first time. Um,
Yes.
that's gone gone quite fast, eh? Uh, and actually, I originally was interviewing you for a book I was writing at the time.
Yeah.
You may have seen that I spoke to another guy that I interviewed for that book, and you clearly said to you both, I don't know if that book's ever happening, but let's talk on YouTube.
Yeah. Yeah, I think, I mean, if it looks like it's a better opportunity to reach more people, I think it's great that you change gears, so to
Yeah,
speak.
I
Hmm.
think it might be. I think it's certainly a better um, engagement to effort ratio. You know what I mean? Like we could have streamed the first conversation that we had 4 years ago, and people would have known 4 years ago what you were up to already. But when you
Yeah,
do
yeah,
it for
it's
a
true.
book, it sits in someone's desk for a long time, and then it sits on someone else's desk for a long time, and sometimes it never comes to see the light of day. But anyway, I'm pleased that we got the opportunity to speak again.
Yeah, totally. Me too.
And at that time, so the non-profit that you're starting is actually kind of a new venture for you. But when we first
Yeah,
spoke a few
totally.
years ago, the main thing, or how I knew you, I guess, was as somebody very committed to giving a lot of money to animal charities.
Yes, yes, totally. I mean, my plan is to keep doing that, but at the time and for quite a while now, I always felt like I could do more with my time. I have some time to spare, and I guess I always felt a little, I don't know, um, maybe some imposter syndrome.
Sure.
uh, feeling like I didn't have the credentials or the education to do something directly to help animals, because I'm a musician by trade, and that's not something that's very useful, I guess, to help other animals. So yeah, for a while I felt like I didn't have anything to offer, I guess, which I suppose it was not completely true. I
Well,
have
clearly, yeah.
been yeah, I've been involved in this movement for quite a while, almost 20 years, and I've been reading and thinking and getting to know people. So obviously I have gotten some knowledge and some skills that can be helpful. So yeah, it's been awesome in that sense. I can do more than just what I sometimes feel like it's my limits, I guess. Yeah, so I'm always trying to do more to help other animals. I would say that's the thing that motivates me in life. And for a while, yeah, I was feeling a bit guilty about not using my time better, I guess. But yeah, donations are still a big part of what I do, and yeah, we could talk a little more about that.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's so interesting. There's a few things that I want to zoom in on. First, I think it's quite inspiring for other people to hear stories of people who think, well, who say, well, I didn't used to think that I would be able to do something on this level, and I gave it a go, and I was, able to achieve more than I thought. And I think that seems to be like a pretty common experience for animal advocates. It's like surprising how much you can get done when you show a sustained interest in doing stuff and try to, put yourself out there and contact organizations and everything else like that. Because you've always been very active. Hey, we spoke about your organizing friends to do fundraisers and all this kind of stuff for years, right?
Yeah, I mean, I began doing activism, like vegan activism, when I basically from the get-go. As soon as I became vegan, I wanted to do something, and I found a group here who was doing like screenings of documentaries and movies and that kind of stuff. And so I began doing that and giving talks and talking to people on the streets. And I did that for, I would say, at least 8 years. And then, yeah, some things happened. The groups dissolved, and I found myself kind of by myself in regards to activism. I was doing a lot of online activism. And I guess it was around 2015 that I began donating for the first time. At first, it wasn't a lot of money. I just donated to a great sanctuary that we have here, which is called Santuario Igualdad. And are we frozen?
Yeah, the video has frozen. I was wondering if that was just
Okay.
on my end. I can still hear you though.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. So at the beginning, I was just I don't know, maybe $10 a month or something like that to support this sanctuary, which is run by a couple of friends. And I guess there were many things that led me to think more about donating more money. On the one side was the fact that I wasn't doing much like direct activism, so I felt like at least I could do something with my financial resources. And yeah, I remember when with my girlfriend at the time, we decided to do some stuff together. Like, instead of giving ourselves presents for Christmas, we decided to donate that money to particular campaigns or charities. And yeah, I think that was in 2017. So we kind of got inspired by that, and began to do it also for Valentine's Day and for Christmas, but mainly for our birthdays. So it became kind of something that we did instead of giving ourselves presents. It was it was for me it was like a beautiful thing to celebrate our relationship and our love by showing a love to other beings who needed it most. So that's how it started, and I would say around 2019. Well, we broke up in 2018, but we were still friends, and I decided to do this by inviting other people. Like I think the first thing we did was a Christmas campaign, and I invited some people to just join, and mostly how do you say this? Well, people I met doing vegan activism, and so we were all very very much connected to the cause. So it wasn't that hard to do that. And yeah, it was a success. The first time it was a success, and then we tried to do it like twice a year, and we invited more people, and eventually we began doing it like quarterly. Every 3 months we do it. We choose a couple of organizations that we love and donate to them whatever we get from this kind of group donations, this giving circle. So yeah, it's been quite exciting. It has had its ups and downs. I think our best year was 2022 when we donated around $2,000.
Nice.
I mean $10,000.
Oh, nice.
And yeah, and after that it's been between 4,000 and 5,000. And it's been quite amazing to me because most of us are not really high income earners. Well, I'm from Chile. I'm a musician. I make the best months I do, I don't know, 1,200 a month, I would say, which is not much, especially by first world standards. But despite that, we've been able to donate, more than I could have by myself, that's for sure. But beyond that, we've been able to build this kind of community of people who do this as a part of their lives. It's not just a one-off thing. We really consider that this is important, and I guess we're creating some kind of cultural costume, I guess, to have this as a part of our lives. And what's maybe even more interesting is that some of the guys who participate in this, they also do their stuff on their own. So when they have their birthdays, they ask their friends to donate instead of giving them presents, for example.
That's awesome.
And yeah, that's super cool. And yeah, I mean,
that's so
I
cool.
pledged to donate at least 10% of my income. I think in 2019 also. I've been aiming at 20%. But yeah, I don't make much money, so it isn't that much. But through this giving circle, it has paid off. It's been multiplied by at least 2, sometimes by 4 or 5, and I think that's a super good way to multiply our impact and hopefully inspire and motivate more people.
That's awesome. There's so much in there that I love. There's the donation gifts thing is such a great idea, because gift giving, I always feel I am about to spend like a decent chunk of money on something that maybe the person will like. It's a bit. Do you know what I mean? Like they might.
Yeah,
I find when people give me gifts, as often as not, you're like, well, this is kind of, I wouldn't have bought this for myself, right? And equally for other people, when you're giving gifts, you are in the mode of uh, generosity and sort of spending more money on something than you would. Buy nicer gifts than I would buy things for myself, for example. I think a lot of people are probably the same, right?
Mm.
So it's the perfect context for saying, why don't we, instead of buying things that we don't really need and may or may not appreciate, give to a effective animal organization, and then we both definitely will appreciate. It's so cool that like you did it with your friends, and then your friends sort of asked their other friends and family to do donations as their gifts as well. I love that.
Yeah, that's been great. Another thing we've done is like for Christmas, when I don't know if this is a thing where you live, but here we usually do this Secret Santa thing for
Yeah.
Christmas. And I've also done this, like whoever gets me as their Secret Santa, please donate to this specific organization.
That's awesome.
And yeah, it's been wonderful. I mean, I remember one year when a friend was like very excited for having done that and receiving emails, and he was like super stoked about having helped the animals, which obviously wouldn't have been as heartwarming for him if he just gave me something that he thought I would like or appreciate, you know. So yeah, there are many creative ways to make this more of a social norm and well, help animals in the way, which is the
Yeah,
most important thing.
that's so cool. Do you have a name for your donation gifting system?
Actually, no.
Ah,
Come
we
to
should
think of
we
it.
should coin a term. Maybe someone
Yeah,
will come up with one. There's got to be some sort
yeah,
of clever name about
yeah,
charitable
totally. Well,
donations as present as gifts.
yeah, one of us has been pestering us about doing this more like my more formal, like giving it a structure, maybe setting up a website and to help inspire other people. And for the longest time, we thought like, who are we to do this? Like, who would want to read what we do?
Who else, man?
Who would trust our judgment? And and I think, yeah, we were wrong. I think this friend of ours was right, and we should totally try
Definitely.
to publicize it, and hopefully other people can replicate it. Uh,
Yeah, you
yeah,
could have like a
maybe something.
page and a QR code where you can give to people and they can go and actually, this could be a good thing for. I spoke to Farm Kind. Have you heard of that organization? Yeah,
Yes, totally.
they describe themselves as a re-granting org, I guess. They say that people give through Farm Kind to, the charities that they pass on the funds to. That could definitely be a sort of campaign format for them to do, right? Gifts as they have a quite controversial one, which is a uh, guilt-free pass where you've given enough money that you're offsetting the amount equivalent of one person eating meat, and the idea is that
Yeah,
you might buy this for your stubborn dad or someone who doesn't, someone in your life who's not going to give up meat. Um, which I'm sure some people have views about should you be doing that kind of moral licensing and stuff like that, but it's certainly an interesting, creative way to raise funds for these animal organizations, and it's so important for people to understand that they rely entirely on donations, and if people are not putting their hand in their pocket and giving a decent chunk of money to animal charities, they don't exist, right? They don't have funding.
yeah, yeah. I think that was something that was really important for me to make this commitment when I first started. Like, I one of the things I thought was like, there's people willing to work for animals, but they have to do it as a volunteer basis because there's no money. And I saw how many of the organizations in which I worked when I started kind of went down because of that. I mean, it wasn't the only reason, but it was a reason. So I could see how this was a real issue, and so I asked myself, do I do I want to see more people like working professionally on this? Do I want more people to dedicate their whole professional life to this? And obviously, the answer was yes. I mean, I didn't feel like I was the guy, but if I could do something so other people could do it, I felt like sure I should do this, and that was one of the reasons why I felt like donating was so important. It wasn't, yeah, obviously the main goal, the ultimate goal is to help animals, but there are all these considerations of how we are going to get there that was really important to me. So yeah, I remember thinking, okay, I had $20 here. What do I want this to um, like prop up? Like
Yeah, cause
what
to
do I
happen
want?
in the world, right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. So I want more people to, I don't know, be musicians or I don't know, football players, or do I want more people to be animal activists? Um, for me, the answer was clear. So I was like, okay, I need to focus more on this. I need to spend more money on the things that I think are necessary to have in this world. So yeah,
that's
that
exactly
was
it.
important.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
exactly it. That's put so well. Pay for what you want to see more of in the world. That's how it works, right? If lots of people pay for factory farming, we're gonna have more factory farming, and if lots of people pay
Yeah,
for
exactly.
animal activism, we're gonna have more animal activism, right?
Yeah, yeah. I think that's something that we usually don't think about it in those terms, but when you do, it's like, okay, maybe I should do some things differently here. And I also remember thinking about, well, how important is this for me, like really, and what would that imply? Okay, so I think this problem is very important. How many hours a week should I ideally invest in this? Like, would it be 1 hour? It doesn't sound like much.
Right.
Maybe I should be doing 2, 5, 10. Okay, and how many hours do I actually spend on this? Uh, and I realized, okay, not that many. And afterwards, I was like, okay, how much money do I make an hour? How could I translate this into helping animals, so maybe, yeah, maybe just 2 of the hours I work for money in the week, I could give it for effective animal charities. And when you look at it from that perspective, donating 40, $80 a month doesn't actually look like much.
Yeah,
it does
that's a great
it
way of
does look
looking at it.
like it's like you're the minimum we should be doing. And that was something that also fueled that motivation for me. Like, okay, I need to do more. Obviously, if you don't have the money, there's no way to do this. But if you do, and if you do the calculations and you realize, okay, I actually need this amount to survive, and I'm using all of this to just uh, give myself some extra pleasures or fun, whatever. Maybe I should be uh, spending some of that to help others. And yeah, I think that thinking in those terms made it more intuitive, I guess, more obvious. Sometimes, I guess, even when you get statistics like, okay, for $1 donated, you can help one hen in a factory farm. That still can feel kind of I don't know, distant, I guess.
Hmm.
It doesn't, for many people, it doesn't really kick you in the chest, so to
Hmm.
speak. So yeah, I try to think in new ways to feel like really that this was an important thing for me to do. And I hope
Yeah.
other people can also see what resonates and realize that this is actually very important and potentially very impactful also.
That's such a great way of thinking about it. You were reflecting on how much time you would spend and then translated that in. And if you're giving 10% of your income, say, that's like working half of, half of one of your 5 working days you're working for animals, right?
Yeah.
That's pretty cool thought, isn't it? Go Tuesday
Yeah.
afternoons, I'm working for animals. That's
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah.
that's cool. And you said you're trying to give 20%. That's impressive,
Yes.
dude.
Yeah, when I mean, whenever I get more money than I usually earn, I give it away. I mean, I don't even have any doubt about it. I mean, I already have some savings that could help me live a year or a year and a half if I don't get any more income for that time, and I think that's enough. So I stopped saving a couple of years ago and decided to, yeah, whatever I get, it goes to the animals.
That's awesome.
Uh, yeah, I mean, I guess there's some personality traits that I've always had. I don't think I've ever been very interested in accumulating things, in buying stuff, or traveling. I don't know. I
Hmm.
had I've been lucky enough to travel working as a musician, so I guess that covers that,
Nice.
even if I wanted to. But other than that, I'm happy. Yes, just being here, reading stuff, walking the dogs, doing some sports, and that's it. I don't need much. So yeah, and I think in 2022, which was our best year with this Giving Circle, I was getting a lot of good paying gigs. So that's why in part, it was why we donated much more than we usually do. So yeah, I mean, I don't have like a set amount of money I want to donate every year, or set percentage of my income. I just donate everything I can. Yeah.
Yeah, that's really inspiring, dude. And you make me want to give more because here I am in the UK. I'm only giving 10%, dude. You're making me look bad.
Well, I think it's. I mean, if it's useful, I think it's good. But I try not to get so stuck in numbers. I feel like we should always try to do more and help more, and not comparing ourselves to others, but to ourselves, like to our previous selves, and try to be a better version of ourselves and have a better impact also. Uh, yeah, if it was for offsetting, I feel like I still have a lot of offsetting to do for my younger self. uh, so yeah, that fuels me also. Mm.
Interesting. Yeah, I think you get there pretty quickly if you're doing effective donations. I did some somewhat back of the envelope sums in terms of doing what I call vegan 2.0, right? The idea of trying to prevent animal abuse beyond just excluding it. Um, and yeah, donations being one of the most effective ways that you can do that.
Mm.
By my reckoning, doing like a modest amount of that, you can have, I think it was about 54 times. Sort of, if you do that for a year, you'll affect 54 times more animals than if you were just vegan.
Mm.
Um, so you can get there pretty quickly with reasonably modest donations and stuff like that. But that's really inspiring, dude. I'm gonna have to honestly. I'm still saving as well. What a loser! I'm putting money in a savings. Why would I do that? You're right. I don't. What am I saving for?
Yeah, I mean, sometimes I would think like, what if I died tomorrow? I
Right.
mean, what the hell? What is this? What about all these savings? Where are they going to go? And do I really want this to happen, or do I want to live like, okay, if I die tomorrow, I'm okay with what I did with my money and my resources and all of that.
Yeah.
Hopefully, I won't die tomorrow or
Hopefully
now.
not. Hopefully
Yeah,
not.
yeah, yeah. But who knows? So yeah.
That's awesome. And it's cool that you are now having donated and been involved in all sorts of animal activism for so many years. You've got into this incubator. You're going to be starting your own organization, and I totally well. Yeah, I imagine that doing what is referred to in effective altruism as earning to give. Right, a lot of
Mm.
people go and work in a bank or something, go and be a lawyer, or at any level, basically, like give your main contribution being uh, giving as much as you can of your earnings to animal organisations. And although on paper that is going to, or I shouldn't say on paper, in reality that is going to affect more animals and help more animals in many cases,
Mm.
it is not necessarily the most fulfilling interaction with the mission if you are kind of all of your time is spent thinking about something unrelated and then you just have a direct debit set up to a charity or whatever, even though that's impactful. So it's cool
Yeah.
that you're getting the opportunity to spend your time thinking about this stuff more so and in a professional capacity.
Yeah, I think that it could also help me even with my donations. I mean, it gives me just as you said, like I be thinking more about this in my day-to-day life, professionally, even if this works. And I think it will only add to that, like to my compromise to like to helping animals. Like not it's not compromise. It's my commitment. Commitment. Sorry, my
Right.
Spanish got in the way. uh, and yeah, I think it's important to think about that, like what fulfills us. For example, like I'm a total consequentialist, a negative consequentialist. So I try to optimize in that way, but I also don't pass up the opportunity to help animals in need when I find them. So I have 5 rescued dogs. I
Wow.
have 4 birds. Like I have 3 pigeons and a cockatoo that I found in the street.
Oh, wow.
Uh, and yeah, I remember at one time thinking maybe this isn't the most effective use of my time and resources. Uh, I think actually I also thought about this when I started donating. Like, okay, I'm able to spend, I don't know, $60, $70 a month to feed my dogs. Why wouldn't I be able to do this, to donate to effective animal charities? I mean, if they get sick, I will have the money I will find the way to have the money to take them to the vet. So obviously I can do stuff to donate more. And at one time, yeah, I was like rescuing more dogs because I found them on the streets, and I was like, okay, if I do this, if I adopt this dog, I will make a commitment to at least donate the amount of money I will be spending on their food.
Nice.
Yeah, so that's a way I found to kind of balance that, like my consequentialism and the fact that well, maybe it isn't so against my consequentialism. I think that helping animals in need, it sends an important message. It's
Yeah.
it could be helping to build social norms that along the way could actually have a large impact. I mean, I've been rescuing pigeons. There was like this huge epidemic, I think, here affecting pigeons in Chile. And you will find a lot of pigeons on the streets, like sick, dead, dying. And I have, I mean, for me, it wasn't like an option to just like walk by and don't do anything about it. And but some friends, some people I know that I do this, then ask me, they write to me and they say, hey, I found this pigeon, what can I do to help him or help her?
Oh, that's
And
cool.
ask me for advice, and I see how this kind of builds up. I
Yeah,
just
you
did
set the
this.
example for them.
Yeah, totally. So I see how people, at least, I don't know, 10 20 people now see pigeons as more than just a nuisance.
That's
And they
awesome.
are willing to spend money and resources. And I think this could be actually very helpful in changing the ways we think about and relate to other animals in general. So
That's
yeah,
awesome.
I try not to get so fixated in like very easy to calculate numbers, and also keep an eye on the things that could be useful on the long term,
Yeah.
which have a lot to do with our ideas about other animals, about, well, wild animals in this case, and our obligations towards them. So yeah, I try to keep that in balance. Not only think about my impact per dollar when I donate, but also what I do with my time and my worries and my care.
Yeah. The part
Hmm.
of the social fabric that you make up and the example that you're setting for others and the norms that you're communicating and everything like that is more difficult to measure, but the effects are very diffuse, hopefully, and reach a lot of people. And um, that's how culture changes and how societies change, I guess.
Yeah, totally.
I like what you
Yes.
said about it's kind of a so what you said about when you adopt a dog, you say, okay, I will spend at least as much as I'll spend on the dog's food on giving to effective charities. They're both sort of altruistic things in this case, but it reminded me somewhat of like I can't remember what this is called, but it's something like treat matching, which is a technique that some of these behavioral scientists have encouraged for um, basically balancing things that you like doing but aren't good for you, or not necessarily aren't good for you, but are, like watching a TV show that you like or something like that. You get to watch one episode every time that you do something that you don't really like doing but know that you should do more of. For example,
Yeah.
going to the gym, like that's the example they give. I'm only allowed to watch this TV show while I'm running on the treadmill at the gym, right? And
Hmm.
then you go and do that a lot more. It's funny in your case that both the things where I want to adopt this dog, so I have to spend more. But yeah, there's I'm sure that people could think of other versions of that, almost like a swear jar situation, right? Where each time
Yeah.
you say a swear word, you get put $1 in the jar to give to animal charities or something like that.
I think it escapes me the word that Brian Tomasic uses for doing stuff that just feels warm and fuzzy,
Hmm.
and how you should think about both of those things when thinking about your long-term impact, because obviously I could have not done any of this, and I could have passed on the opportunity to help dogs and birds, and focused only on donating every dollar. But maybe that would have crushed me,
Yeah,
like my heart would not be in a good place, and maybe I don't know. It could have led to me, yeah, dropping everything and forgetting about it. So I think it's important to think about those aspects as well.
yeah. No, I think so. And yeah, allow yourself those connections to remember why you're doing it as well. I have a dog. I have a dog as of about 3 years ago now, and I never really was regularly interacting with animals before that, and I was
Mm.
doing vegan activism and everything, and it was quite weird when I got a dog. I was like, oh well, now I'm interacting with an animal. This is what I spend all my time thinking about, and yeah, I'd never, I'm looking in his eyes, and there's a little guy in
Mm.
there, and he looks at me, and he's sometimes scared, and he's sometimes happy, and stuff. It
Yeah,
really makes you think. It breaks your heart when you think about all the pigs and farrowing crates and everything else right there. Every
yeah,
bit as expressive and emotive. But yeah, I mean, it really renewed my sense. If it needed renewing, that we're doing the right thing and we're on the right side of history, and pushing. Frankly, I think that you are like at the forefront of generosity, right? As you were saying, you don't earn a lot of money, especially in a global scale, and yet you're trying to give up to 20% of your income, and you're encouraging all your friends and family to do these giving circles and coming up with different creative ways to maximize that. It's so inspiring, dude.
Hmm. Thank you. I think you made me think about like my own history with other animals, and yeah, when I was born, we were a family of 7. Like I have 2 older sisters, my parents, and we had our dog Lassie and our cat Kitty. And I guess from the get go, I always realized that there was someone looking back, and I would love. Snails, and I would love birds and other bugs, but at the same time I wouldn't say hate it, but I wasn't compassionate towards the animals that my parents taught me were not to be cared for.
Mhm.
So I would join in killing spiders and ants and flies. And looking back, I feel like very bad about it. I guess that fuels me still to this day for having done all those awful things. And yeah, some experiences I had when I was a little boy. I think I was like 7 years old or 8, and my parents bought a house for for summer vacations. They had like a very good deal to buy a house in a city that was growing, and it was becoming a little more touristic. And this was like the first phase of a housing development in an otherwise agricultural land. So uh, we didn't have many neighbors, but in front of the house, to the left, in diagonal to the left, there was like this empty field. To the diagonal to the right, there was a soccer field, and right in front of our house, there was a slaughterhouse. And this was like working as normal, even though there was this housing coming to this place, you know.
Wow.
So when I was a little kid, we would have these experiences, very conflicting experiences of watching out the window and seeing a beautiful sunset and hearing the screams and cries of animals getting killed right in front of us.
Wow.
It was very, yeah, it was very shocking.
Yeah.
And I remember at one time we were like playing soccer in this dusty soccer field, and there were holes in the wall that separated this place to the slaughterhouse land, and we could see the animals there. And I remember, I don't know if we saw them many times, but one day we decided to go there and see the animals. And I remember there was this herd of donkeys, and so we approached them. Some of them let us touch them, and we were very happy with my cousins. And there was this pregnant female donkey, and she was super sweet, super cute. And we would go, I think we went at least a couple of days to see her. And one of those days, a boy came. He was probably, I don't know, 13 or 14 years old, and he was getting paid to work for the slaughterhouse,
Wow.
to basically to move the animals from one place to the other. So he came. He wanted to lead the donkeys to some other place, and this female, she stayed with us. And obviously this guy got very angry, and he kicked her in the belly, like with all his might. And we were like very shocked. We were like, "Hey man, what are you doing? What do you do this there? She's pregnant." And we were very angry at him. And to this day, I remember what he told us. He said in Spanish, ¿qué les importa si los van a matar a todos igual? Which means, what do you even care if they're all getting killed anyway? And yeah, to this day, I remember these words.
Wow.
And I remember coming back the next day, and the donkeys were gone, you know. And at that time, we decided with our cousins to go into the slaughterhouse for the first time. We had always been like outside, and the areas where the animals were being kept. But that day we decided to go in, and yeah, what I saw there stayed with me forever. The first thing we saw, and I kind of checked this with my cousins to see if this was like a real memory of mine or was invented.
Yeah.
The first thing we saw was this huge pile of organs and guts and intestines and all of that. And on the floor there was this uterus with a donkey, baby donkey. So yeah, that was like my first face-to-face encounter with what we do to animals.
Yeah. How old were
And
you?
I think I was 7 years old,
Wow.
7 or 8. And yeah, what I saw next was even more gruesome. We went to see how they killed the pigs. And at the time, sadly, I didn't make the connection with what I would eat later at my house.
Hmm.
But this made it very, very easy for me to change when I finally made the connection. Like I never thought about, oh, what if we kill animals in a humane way and all of that. That wasn't an option for me. I mean, I had been in a slaughterhouse and
You'd
I
seen
saw
it.
what happened there, and yeah, I think that fuels me to this day.
Absolutely.
I
That sounds traumatic, dude, for a 7-year-old. You went into the slaughterhouse, like you were inside the building.
Yes, we got in, and
There's just
afterwards
a
we went
bunch of
to
kids
like
walking around in there.
yeah, we went to the
That's
killing
scary.
floor.
Oh my
Yeah,
goodness.
it was awful. And actually, I think it was so shocking, like traumatizing, that I kind of shut down the emotions
Yeah.
at the moment. And I always remembered this, like I had the memories, the images, and all of that. But something emotional was like totally blocked,
Yeah.
and I think that came out like, I don't know, 3 years ago when I was going through some therapy. And yeah, it was like the traumatic event of
Wow.
my childhood.
Damn.
It was yeah, when it came out, it was like very, very emotionally draining and awful. And I realized how much that kind of um, cemented some ideas I had about myself, like for example feeling like uh, powerless. I also felt like I was uh, an accomplice, I guess. Like to this, for not saying anything. I didn't scream. I didn't ask them to
Mm.
stop. I didn't do anything. So for the longest time, I felt like I was a part of this. I was guilty of this. What happened to this piece, to this female donkey, and all of that. And yeah, on the one side, it came with its negative effects, like towards my the way I see myself, I guess. But it also fueled my activism and how committed I was to this cause to this day. I mean, I remember these things. I don't think I had talked about this in public ever
Yeah. Thank you
before.
for sharing that, dude. That's really something.
Yeah, I mean, I had to kind of control the emotions that
Yeah,
come up
man.
when I remember it.
Yeah. I feel like I'm tearing up listening to that. That's such a wild experience for
Yeah,
such a young kid to have, and then you have the memories, but you weren't really kind of processing the emotions until years later, I guess. That must have
yeah,
been quite something.
yeah, totally. I mean, I felt worthless in a way, and I think that I kept repeating these ideas to myself until I was, I don't know, 30 something. There was a part of me that kind of hated myself, and I think it was all linked to that, like
Man,
to feeling guilty about what I saw and what I didn't do. And obviously, when I think back, I couldn't have done anything. I
of
mean, there was
course. What's
there
if a
were
7-year-old starts shouting stuff? I mean, they'll probably just kick you out, right? I mean, as soon as they notice you're there. But
yeah,
you couldn't have done anything. Of course, you couldn't have
yeah,
done anything. Yeah,
yeah,
I'm glad that you feel that you've processed that, and how reflect on it with clear eyes. And it's wild that you were growing up across the road from this place and you were playing football
Yeah,
next door.
yeah, yeah. It was crazy. I mean,
I wonder how many kids in that neighborhood would be vegetarians if you polled them today.
yeah,
I wonder, right? Because you're right there. You could look through the fence and see the animals. I feel like that's
yeah.
pretty rare for to be in such close proximity and such like to actually be able to see it get in the building. I feel,
Yeah, I mean, the screamings were like impossible to not hear.
right.
Whatever you were, and this was like, uh, yeah. If you had even if you had all the windows closed and the TV on, you would still hear the screaming.
God, that's horrid.
Yeah, yeah. But yeah, I remember my parents trying to not think about it, to make us not think about it. Obviously, when they told them that when we told them that we got into the slaughterhouse, they just reprimanded us and told us to never go in again.
Mm.
So that, in a way, that also didn't help in me processing what
Yeah, because you felt you
what
had
I
done
felt.
something bad by going in there. Then
Yeah, that I couldn't tell to anyone. If I
right.
told to my parents, they would not ask how I felt or anything, but just
Yeah, you
get
went
mad.
to report this to your parents, and
Yeah,
they said you shouldn't have been there. That's not
yeah,
that's not the response you were looking for. Hey,
yeah,
as a
totally.
kid, yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
Dude, thank you so
and
much for sharing that. That's such a um. I had no idea about that backstory that you grew up across the road from this place and went in there as a kid. That's yeah. Thank you for sharing that. That's really heavy.
yeah, it's super heavy, and I wonder how many other people who are involved in this movement have some stories like that, and they don't get to share them, and I think that can become like a very heavy backpack, you know,
Yeah,
a very heavy weight on your shoulders. And I hope more people will get to share them, to share those stories, because it makes them more real.
yeah,
I mean, I can see people thinking about, oh yes, it's not good to make animals suffer and whatever, and so good that you do this, but when you're not confronted with the reality of it, it kind of feels like, yeah, it's just ideas. And to me, it was never just an idea. It was something very, very real, very, very traumatic. And yeah, I think that it's important. I mean, I don't think everyone should go to these places to feel what it is like, or to see and hear what it is like. But I think it's important to share these stories. I think they can be even more touching and inspiring than arguments, actually.
yeah.
Mm.
Absolutely. And yeah, yeah, that'll stay with me. That story. That's yeah. Thank you for sharing that. And I mean, needless to say, I hope you seem to have a clear-eyed view of all of that now, and you know that you that wasn't your fault what was happening, and you know that you weren't doing something wrong by being there. And also, I hope that you know that everything that you've done in your animal activism has been you've helped, although you never will get to see them,
Mm.
you've helped so many times more animals than you saw on those days, right?
Yeah, yeah. I think that's part of the reason why I don't want to pass up the opportunity to help animals when I see them on the streets, because I don't want to feel like that
Yeah,
again. Mm. Yeah.
yeah. No, that's really something. Um, One thing that I so well, we had an hour in, and we're 5 minutes to the hour, so I don't want to take up too much of your time. But I had a couple of things to ask to round off.
Hmm.
Um, First, for one thing, I asked you when we spoke years ago, and I asked to Felix as well when I spoke to him recently. What would you do if you had back all of the money that you've given to animal charities over the years if you had it back in your bank account tomorrow?
Yeah, I would just give it away.
Good. I thought that you might say that.
I would just, yeah, hope that the fees aren't that high, so I would have to pay that over the, I will give it away. I mean, I don't need more than what I have. I really don't.
Good
And
man. That was an easy answer.
yeah, totally.
Good man. And if you have, well, if you have you've spoken a bit about how, you know, you have come up with some creative ways to donate, and you're now, you know, you thought that you wouldn't be able to contribute because your background was as a musician, and now you're founding this non-profit, and that's, you know, inspiring to people as well, I'm sure. Do you have a message that you want to leave people with? It's mainly vegans and animal activist types that are watching, so you know.
I would say first, like, try to always remember why you're doing what you're doing. Do your best to think about how you could do better, even if not more, but better. And don't beat yourself up so much. I think that's something that I should have said to myself for many years. Yeah, like, I know I'm not perfect. I know I don't have the best mind or the best brain, but I can do.
You're pretty close, Sam. You're pretty close.
Doesn't feel like it. But yeah, like, treat yourselves with compassion and do the best you can with what you've got. I mean, we didn't choose any of this. We didn't choose to be born. We didn't choose to have the bodies that we have, the minds that we have, the experiences that we had. And just accept that, love ourselves, and do the best we can.
That's an awesome message. Thank you so much, Sam, for taking the time to talk to me. I really appreciate you.
Thank you, Chris.
I'm sure this has been really inspiring to a lot of people. So yeah, I really appreciate you taking the time.
I hope so. And I hope those animals that I saw dying and suffering didn't do so in vain, you know.
That's
I
right.
hope to, yeah.
That's right. They inspired everything that you've done for animals since, and
Yeah.
I think it's you know, I'm really glad that I have the opportunity to share your story with others and inspire them also. So yeah, thank you so much for sharing.
Thanks a lot.
All right, we'll speak soon, Sam.
Okay, yeah, I'd be super happy to do so.
Awesome. Take care.
You too.
Cheers. Wow, that was quite something. I wasn't ready for that level. Right, I'm going to take a couple of minutes and grab my dog inside. Hey, last time I left an empty chair, my viewership went up. I was a little bit offended by that. When I came back, it went back down again. I've got 5 watching right now. If there's more than 5 when I come back, I'm going to be furious.